Drivers, start your engines!
This is MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. One full hour of news, interviews, and opinion about the past weekend's racing action. Brought to you by Hercules Tires.
Pace car is up.
Now here are your hosts, Woody Kane and Joey Meyer.
Green flag, green flag.
The white flag is out here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Jimmie Johnson trying to make history and win the championship for the 7th time. He's in turn number 1.
Johnson rockets to the bottom of the racetrack. Kyle Larson trying to rally speed in the outside lane, but it's not there. Off turn number 2, it's Jimmie Johnson with the lead.
Here they come off the end of the back straightaway for the final time here in Homestead.
It's Jimmie Johnson with the lead and a walk-off for the ages as he hits the main straightaway.
They've been fighting adversity all weekend long. They've come through every one of the problems. Jimmie Johnson wins at Homestead and scores a history-making 7th championship.
Oh my God!
There you go, Jimmie Johnson celebrating a record-tying 7th Sprint Cup Series title, putting him in the mix with names like Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt, a couple of guys who knew a thing or two about racing.
Little vanilla. I just wish he would have been more excited about this accomplishment.
Yeah, that's what they say, right?
Yeah, we always talk about Jimmie not showing any emotion, and there it was, raw emotion. He was able to separate opinions from facts because many opinions base his accomplishments on whether he's as good or better than Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Richard Petty. The fact of the matter is, in this generation now, he has 7 championships, and his accomplishments exceed anybody that he's been racing with. So in his generation or in his era, he is the best driver that we know and does a great job. We've said on this show a number of times, for you have been watching us, all 5 or 6 of our listeners over the period of years.
Hey, there's at least 8 now.
I've said 8 championships is in his works as long as him and Chad stay together. This was a goal of theirs to get to 7, which has been only done twice before with Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty. But his 8th will be on the way as long as they stay in the sport. An amazing event. Started out not very good. Even their car didn't get through inspection very easily.
Yeah, right before they're on the grid, he's coming back from the truck ride around in the back of the truck, hey, waving to the fans. He comes back in and he sees them pushing his car back behind the wall.
Exactly right, and that's how the intensity of these crew chiefs, they're trying to get every little thing they can because this is it. This is a one and done. This is our Game 16 moment. It's not Game 7. It's Game 39 because that's how many races we had this year. And at the end of the day, they came home a champion, and Chad Knaus and those guys can be very, very proud over at Hendrick Motorsports.
Speaking of Chad Knaus, he mentioned something earlier last week that stuck with me. In this day and age, and you've been around the sport long enough to see the evolution of this, how remarkable is it for the same driver, same crew chief, and same sponsor to be together for all 7 of those titles?
That's very, very rare. Miller Lite's been at Team Penske for a number of years, and they've gone to a lesser schedule from the full time, but they've been together very long. But Lowe's was on a number of teams with Brett Bodine and Mike Skinner, Richard Childress Racing, but some of the time they signed on at the Jeff Gordon-owned Hendrick Motorsports team, those guys have been accomplishing many, many things. 7 championships in 15 years, I believe.
Yep.
Some guys, some media members are calling, oh, we need more parity. We have really good parity in the fact that since 2011, we've had different champions and not consecutive manufacturer champions since then. So we've done a really good job of providing a performance level for different teams' abilities to be able to get a championship. Jimmie Johnson just happens to be really, really good, and it has 7 in 15 years.
Yeah, and can't call him old 6-time anymore. It has to be old 7-time. He spoke with our Winston Kelly after the race.
I am just floored that we're here. I mean, I thought it wasn't going to be our night tonight. This is the way things were going. But, man, you can't quit. This team never quits. And to fight through all those restarts at the end and get the lead and win this race, it means the world to me to tie Earnhardt and Petty. These guys are legends of our sport, grew our sport and made it what it is today. For guys like myself to come along and compete, I am so thankful for their legacy, for their families, their dedication to the sport, and the opportunities it's provided me and my family. And to join those guys, man, I just hope I can carry the banner, carry the torch as they have. This is just absolutely incredible.
And the last restart, take us through it.
I got a good jump, and I was just hopeful the 42 wouldn't sit on my quarter panel through 1 and 2. and I heard clear, and I was completely floored because he had been the dominant car all night long. And I saw the 42, maybe fourth off the corner, and just knew I needed a couple good sets of turns and not make any mistakes, and I'd be in good shape.
Young man, you have tied history. Enjoy it. Thanks for everything. 7-time champion, Jimmie Johnson. What does that feel like?
It's incredible. I can't lie. This is incredible. Thank you.
There you go, Jimmie Johnson in victory lane at Homestead-Miami Speedway, capping off the Ford EcoBoost 400 and Ford Championship weekend. There you see the results, Jimmie Johnson, Kyle Larson, and Kevin Harvick there, and that makes me want to remember something else. You know, Bloomin' Monday has been a thing with Outback Steakhouse all season long. If Jimmie Johnson finishes Kevin Harvick finishes in the top 10, you get the free Bloomin' Onion on Monday. You have to, buy a drink or buy an entree or something like that to get it. But this time coming in, they guarantee that no matter where Jimmie finished, they were going to do the free Bloomin' Monday. So you can go by Outback Steakhouse today and get one today for Kevin Harvick. 27th top 10 for him. So up until now, they've given away 26 Bloomin' Mondays all across the country. I can't imagine the budget to make that happen.
It's a lot of calories.
Yeah, it is a lot of calories, but it's a lot of cool free stuff.
Yeah, Outback's done a really good job with the promotional items, and Kevin Harvick has held up his end of the bargain. Remember, this is an arrangement that it doesn't work if Kevin Harvick doesn't perform at his level. They don't give anything away if he finishes 11th 27 times.
Yeah, except this time they guaranteed it no matter what. Yeah.
Every sport has their legacy teams. We have the Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers. You got the Dodgers and Red Sox and Yankees. NASCAR has Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty. And now we can add to the Mount Rushmore of drivers, if you're building one, to Jimmie Johnson with Chad Canales as crew chief and Hendrick Motorsports as the team behind them. Kudos to those guys, 7 championships in 15 years. And again, didn't have the dominant car. Up until that last caution, clearly wasn't the dominant car. The 19 was for the entire evening. He did start at the rear and was able to work his way in the top 10 and stay there for most of the afternoon, but wasn't the car that everybody up to that point thought was going to win the race. Kyle Larson was going to win the race. Carl Edwards was going to win the championship. Everybody was going to be happy, except for the last 10 laps of the race.
And then it got kind of crazy for all those folks who were going, where's the drama?
Yeah.
You saw a little bit of it all weekend long. And speaking of that, we've got 2 of our champions coming on the program today. Daniel Suarez, the Xfinity Series champ, the first ever international champion in one of NASCAR's top 3 national touring series, will join us. Also, Johnny Sauter, after he wins the championship in the Camping World Truck Series on Friday night. That was a fantastic race as well. And to see him pay that off, both those guys are going to be along on the program a little bit later on.
Daniel Suarez almost didn't make it this far. It'd be interesting to hear his version of the story of who kept pushing him.
Yeah, really cool, because at one point he almost gave up on his dream and moved back home to Mexico, but he stuck it out, and now look at him. He's a champion.
Yep, and for our newer listeners, Johnny Sauter's been in the sport for 15 years. His dad was part of an elite group of drivers that actually used to set up the IROC cars, the International Race of Champions, that we used to take drivers from all aspects, from IndyCar, from kart, from F1, from NASCAR, and stick them in a similar style cars and have them race throughout different racetracks. It was called IROC. Dave Marcus and Johnny Sauter's father used to set up these cars, so they've been around the sport for a very, very long time. After 15 long years, Johnny Sauter was able to capture his first championships series in that Camping World Truck Series.
Really cool as well. We'll hear from the other Championship 4 contenders along the way, what they had to say following the races on Ford Championship weekend, and we've got On Track, Off Track, our final one of the season. Thanks for joining us on a championship edition of MRN Motorsports Monday. Stick around, everyone.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
Race fans, you know there's nothing like the power, excitement, and sounds of NASCAR. Ever wonder what it would be like to strap yourself in the seat of an authentic NASCAR race car? You can do it at the Richard Petty Driving Experience. Ride along or drive yourself at one of 15 tracks nationwide. Call 1-800-237-3889 or visit online at drivepetty.com. Richard Petty Driving Experience. It's authentic NASCAR entertainment. Call 1-800-237-3889 or visit drivepetty.com to reserve your experience.
Are you ready?
To help children forget about their serious medical conditions so they can just be a kid. Then support Victory Junction, which is the dream of late race driver Adam Petty, who wanted to build a camp where children concentrate on fun and laughter, not illness or disability. At Victory Junction, kids enjoy ziplining, horseback riding, swimming, fishing, all in a medically safe environment, all at no cost to the camper. What do you say, Richard Petty?
Let's do this.
Learn more at victoryjunction.org.
Ever wish your kid came with an instruction manual? I'm behavioral therapist James Lehman, and I'll show you how to change your child's behavior now with the Total Transformation, the program that helps stop defiance, backtalking, lying, acting out in school, even problems with ADD and ADHD. There's no screaming, no fighting, no frustration. Your child will listen to you again. I guarantee it.
Change your child's behavior now with the Total Transformation. Call now. 1-800-406-2945. 1-800-406-2945.
The pride of Monterrey, Mexico is free and clear with less than a lap to go. Dillon will take over the second spot from Sadler, but it is all Daniel Suarez heading for 3.
Eyes on him for Daniel Suarez. Back to turn number 3 again, choosing to run in the middle of the racetrack all by himself, looking for the checkers and a championship.
Daniel Suarez brings his Toyota off from turn number 4, flashes down the front straightaway. Daniel Suarez wins the Ford EcoBoost 300, and he wins the 2016 NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship.
That's what it sounded like at Homestead-Miami Speedway Saturday night as Daniel Suarez takes the Aris Toyota to a championship, his first ever at Joe Gibbs Racing. Toyota goes into victory lane. Daniel, welcome to the program, man. Congratulations on what had to be just a real up-and-down season, but in the end, you paid it off.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Definitely was an amazing weekend in so many different ways. Actually, I was talking with some people a little bit ago, and it was the first time ever that I had my mom and my dad together in a race here in the U.S. So it was just something really good. I feel very comfortable since the very beginning. I was just going out there to have some fun and enjoy my race with my team, with my family, with my friends, and everything turned out working really, really well.
Daniel, congratulations from the roof, from the spotter stand. I'm very good friends with your spotter as well. We stand alongside each other for the entire year, for a number of years. After the race, you mentioned you were speechless in English, but you had a large vocabulary in Spanish. What main word came to your mind crossing that victory lane in Spanish?
Man, I don't even remember, but definitely I said a lot of things that I said a lot of things because I had no voice the next day, so I was definitely screaming and saying a lot of stuff. Crazy, my spotter Chris Osborne. I'm pretty sure that he got crazy and he decided to turn off the radio in one point. But man, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun celebrating, having fun in victory lane. It was just unbelievable. Winning the pole, obviously having a good pistol, having an amazing race, leading a bunch of laps, having a fast race car, and then the race, it was just super intense right there at the end with all the chase drivers in there. So it was just something really cool being part of this, the first ever chase in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, to win the race, the owner championship, the driver championship. Is just, I just can't describe all this, put this everything even better of how everything worked out on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, what was very interesting on the roof is you matured in front of everybody's eyes. And in my opinion, and I've been fortunate to be standing on the roof watching races for well over 20 years, you drove almost a perfect race. And I try to find any flaw that you did, and there was none. You were pressured by Elliott Sadler and your teammate Eric Jones. Did you yourself get nervous at all about messing up?
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you did good.
They did up as well. They were fast and they were running in the front. It was everything in the line. And when you have a championship in the line, you have to go for it. It's not tomorrow. You have to do it in that moment. And I knew that we needed to do as less mistakes as possible, and whoever was going to be able to do that, he was going to win the race and the championship. And I knew that to win that championship, it was going to take to win the race as well, because the competition it was going to be very tough. But like I said, my team did an amazing job. They brought my favorite car, the car that I won my first race ever in Michigan, and that car made it again.
So are you going to try and talk Joe Gibbs Racing into letting you have it now and take it home and put it up on block somewhere?
Yeah, for sure I would have to do that, because that car is just you know, it's the car that I won my first race ever, and it's the car that I won my first championship ever in NASCAR. So it just really means a lot to me. I remember going to a shop last Tuesday to the guys when they had the car on the scales and, you know, working on the car on the last details. And I was there with my car. I sit in the car, and I was kind of like talking with them, with the car, and he was ready to go, man. He was ready to go, and the entire team was ready to go as well, and we did it. Now it's not a dream anymore. Now we're living this.
Man, it's really cool to see. Daniel, take folks back, because I understand that at one point in your career when you were struggling to get the next steps and get in the right situation and move along, you almost gave up and moved back home. What kept you going then, and now the feeling that it's paid off for you, the perseverance and sticking to it instead of throwing your hands up and saying this is just not going to work?
Well, my family, my mom and my dad, they told me that I needed to keep working, that it was going to take a lot, but nobody has done that in the past for Mexico to get to this level and win races and championships. So I really wanted to make this dream happen, because, you know, when I was very close to go back to Mexico because I was giving up, that was 4 years ago, and I was just very disappointed with everything, and I didn't see anything that it was going to get better. And my dad, he just kept giving me more motivation to get better and to work harder. And
no, that's.
I was obviously as well very lucky that I started to get more support from NASCAR, from the diversity program, from the NASCAR Next program, and just things to start to click better, and here we are right now.
Well, 2016 is over. You will forever be able to call yourself an Xfinity NASCAR champion. Let's look forward just quickly. What does 2017 offer for the Xfinity champion of Daniel Suarez?
Honestly, man, I don't really know. I don't know what the 17 is going to be for us. For now, the truth is that I just want to celebrate with my team. Tonight is a big day for us. We are going to celebrate everything that we did in the entire 2016. We worked very, very hard, long days, long nights, and right now it's time to my entire team to celebrate what we did, because it was something really cool. And maybe after today, we are going to start thinking about 17 and see what happens. But overall, obviously, to win races and championships always helps to figure out the future. And hopefully this does it as well.
And what about the off season for you, Daniel? What are you going to do to unwind? You going to go visit family, hang out over the holidays? You got big travel plans? What's ahead for you there?
Yeah, I have actually a couple trips already. I'm going to go to Mexico for my girlfriend's birthday right after Las Vegas, the banquet, and then I'm going to drive back to Charlotte, because I'm going to bring one of my old cars and then drive back to Mexico. And after that, I'm going to go to Brazil to do a race. I'm going to do a 12 down there in Brazil of karting. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, it's always something about racing, I guess, even when you're on vacation. But I guess it's what we love to do, and it's what we do all the time.
I know every time I ask drivers, well, what are you going to do with your downtime? They say, go race somewhere. You gotta relax sometime, right?
I know, man. My mom said that to me. She was actually mad when I told her I was going to Brazil, but that's something I really like to do. I like to go down there to have fun with friends and stuff, but that's part of the fun. That's part of the vacations for me. You know, go out there having a 12-hour race in go-karts. That's just something unbelievable fun, and I just can't pass that out. And I'm going to go down there to have some fun, and then come back to Mexico to have Christmas and New Year's and everything with my family, and then go back to Charlotte to work for 2017.
Well, we're not going to hold you up any longer. Go get that tuxedo on, get your hair looking good. Enjoy that banquet tonight, man. It's the first time of many for your future. Really good job this weekend.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
There you
Thank
go.
You very much.
Daniel Suarez, your 2016 Xfinity Series champ, the first time they've ever done a chase for the Xfinity Series. Third win he got in his 68th start. His last one was at Dover. And I was lucky enough this year to interview Daniel in victory lane for both his first Xfinity win and his first truck win, and then to see him pay it off at the end with a championship. It's just really cool. That's a great, great story.
Yeah, dominating weekend by those guys with Joe Gibbs Racing. Sat on the pole, led 133 laps. But like I mentioned during the show just a second ago, no mistakes. He never got into the wall. We saw the Eric Jones. We saw Justin Allgaier. We saw Elliott Sadler. All of his chase competitors get into the wall during the tension of the race and having to run that high line. He was flawless for the entire race, and that's why he was able to stay up front, keep his car fast, and able to produce the victory for Joe Gibbs Racing. Arias had a really good weekend with Carl Edwards on the Cup side.
Well, till the very end.
Till the very end, but they were doing, again, in the chase, doing very well. In my opinion, had the best car of the afternoon and should have won the race if not for a late skirmish. But Daniel Suarez in that 19 car. Scott Graves in the unique position of winning the championship twice.
With different guys.
And different manufacturers. Last year with Chris Buescher, this year with Daniel Suarez. So congratulations to those guys. Scott Graves, forever a champion diversity program he mentioned. It's an amazing story when you encompass all the – didn't know English a couple years ago, literally.
And you know how he learned, right?
Cartoons.
Watching cartoons.
Yes,
that's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of funny if he quoted some.
I know. We should have asked him to do some cartoon lines. That would be fantastic.
That is funny.
Listen, one of the things that did happen in this race that we need to talk about toward the end was the decision by the 14-car Cole Witt to stay out on that final restart. And you had championship contenders all up in the top 5 or top 6 with fresh tires. Your thoughts on that decision? Because when it happened, I was in the pit box, the 7 pit box, and thought, what in the world is he doing?
Okay, not pitting made sense because they had no tires and they didn't need any gas. Not pitting was 100% the correct call. Starting up front with 0 or less than 0 opportunity to be competitive amongst the guys you were racing. This wasn't Daytona or Talladega that we're talking about a stricter plate race where all the cars are equal. It made no sense. It wasn't a logical choice on Cole Witt and his crew chief to make that decision to stay up front. After they pitted, everybody else did, so he was lined up on the front row. Unfortunately, there were guys that were directly affected by his inability to get going on the restart, and the possible outcome of the race was changed.
Yeah.
Obviously, Daniel ran the most laps. He was the determined leader well before that incident. I'm glad that the situation didn't take itself into another direction because of that, and that's what we saw.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about that and on-track, off-track, but first we need to talk about the rest of the championship contenders. A lot of these guys had something to say about what we were just discussing in that segment there. So let's hear from Eric Jones, what he said after the race.
Sun went down, crack cooled down, car came around a little bit, and we were able to run the 19 down, and caution doesn't come out. I think we got a pretty good shot of getting around him there, but we didn't have any sticker tires left at the end. I don't know if it works out or not, but the 14 just didn't even attempt to go and stack the whole top lineup. He wasn't spinning his tires or nothing, so I don't know what was going on there, but either way, it's unfortunate. We did a really nice job, though, getting our stuff better, getting it where it needed to be to have a shot. It just didn't work out.
Justin Allgaier is another driver who drove almost a flawless race.
Yeah.
Eric Jones got in the wall a little bit, Justin Allgaier, but he drove the race of his life, and these are his post-race thoughts.
I don't even know where to start. Unfortunately, we never even got to race for a championship right there. We raced all night long, and these guys in the 17 did an awesome job all year long, and really, really proud of our brand fresh agriculture team, everybody at Johnny Motorsports. And, the sad part is we had a shot at winning a race and a championship, and just out of sheer stupidity, we got it all taken away from us, and that's really frustrating. It's really bad when it comes down to 3 laps. That's the most frustrating part. But I can't say enough for everybody back at Johnny Motorsports, everybody in the shop, all these guys in the 17. They work their butts off all year long. I can't thank Xfinity and NASCAR for all they do for our sport. This first Xfinity Series chase was awesome. It was really special to be a part of it. I'm proud of the fact that we put ourselves in that Final Four, and just wish we had a shot to race for it and not get taken out of it there.
I interviewed both Eric Jones and Justin Allgaier after the race, and you could tell they were just chewing on their tongues to keep from saying something even stronger about that. The final guy in the championship 4 in the Xfinity Series, the veteran Elliott Sadler.
Yeah, we had nothing to lose. We had some lug nuts fall off the time before. I mean, nothing that the guys did by any means. Just had some lug nuts fall off. We had to get some track position, so we called for 2 tires. That's the only shot we had. And we didn't know the 14 was going to stay out and do what he did, and we just he jumped up to restart, and I should have made a better block on Daniel, but congratulations to those guys. We got close. It's so hard to come down to one race like we have here. We had such a really good season, but definitely disappointed not holding the trophy.
There you have it, the Championship 4 in the Xfinity Series. We've got a whole lot more to come on Motorsports Monday. On Track, Off Track is next, and Joey is a little cranky.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
Advanced comfort jeans for any occasion. With new styles and great fits, you'll look good and feel comfortable no matter where you are.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort Jeans are designed to keep up with you no matter where you go or what you're doing. They're made with 20% stronger denim and 4-way flex technology that moves with you, so you can go anywhere, look great, and be comfortable all day long.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort Jeans, the most comfortable jeans you will ever wear. Try on a pair today.
Wrangler, be comfortable.
On the racetrack, you can only go as far as your engine can take you. It's the same on the highway. Making a run with a Detroit engine under the hood gives you the industry-leading fuel economy, reliability, and durability your business needs. The Detroit DD13, DD15, and DD16 engine solutions are specifically engineered to make a run as profitable as possible. Don't just want better business solutions, demand them. Learn more at demanddetroit.com.
It's all over at Martinsville, Virginia. Richard Petty has pulled it off.
Throwback Thursday, classic MRN race broadcasts on MRN.com.
Waltrip will win the track race to turn 3. Earnhardt gets him. Hard into the wall goes Waltrip. Hard goes Earnhardt. Everybody else spins either way.
Out of the number 4 corner down to the line. Neil Bonnet is going to win. The Northwestern Bank 400. He'll beat Waltrip a 2-car length.
What a finish here at North Wilkesboro.
Throwback Thursday, Thursdays at 1 Eastern on MRN.com.
Hi, this is Brian Scott, and you're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday with Joey Meyer and Woody Kane.
Brian Scott, last race on Sunday at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Also Tony Stewart, the end of quite an era. 3 championships and a guy who can drive just about anything.
Pretty vocal personality with Tony Stewart. Has gotten in some issues with the media because he's that
and
vocal.
NASCAR.
His honesty is refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always what NASCAR and or the media wants to hear at the time, but it's refreshing. There are no political correct sides of Tony Stewart, and that's what everybody in the industry came to appreciate. Brian Scott was an unusual entity, and we see it in basketball and college with the one and done scenario. Brian Scott was a rookie this year, had a yellow bumper, and chose to retire at the end of this year to spend time with his family, so good luck to him.
Who takes Tony's spot? Not that he's going to be gone. He'll still be in the garage area as an owner, but who is that guy? Remember, it was Dale Earnhardt back in the day. For a while, it was Jeff Burton. Tony Stewart, kind of the outspoken guy who had the ear, at least, and the respect of most or many in the garage. Who kind of takes that role now?
From a verbal standpoint, I think we've already seen a gentleman step up to the plate to represent the drivers as a whole with the driver council, and it's Denny Hamlin. We would like to see Dale Earnhardt take that role, but he's at the twilight of his career. If next year or possibly 2018 is it, wouldn't be surprising if next year is the last year because he's coming back. He's testing, just announced December and January, but if 2018 were his last year even, and I'm just speculating, but Denny Hamlin is a younger driver as well as Brad Keselowski and a couple of those guys. But Denny Hamlin is the guy right now that appears to be more vocal, referencing in the direction of that driver council. The other drivers under the driver council get voted in. Denny Hamlin's kind of a part of that. So right now I think in that direction, we'd like to see him be a little more successful. He would like to see himself be a little more successful as Tony Stewart
with
the 3 champions. But he's, again, in this era of being competitive, he's there day in and day out, week in, week out, year in, year out over at Joe Gibbs Racing.
All right, championship show here on Motorsports Monday, recognizing all those who won championships over Ford Championship Weekend at Homestead-Miami Speedway. I want to thank our sponsor all season long, Outback Steakhouse. Head on in for that free Bloomin' Onion today. 27 of them they've done now because of top 10 finishes for Kevin Harvick all season long. And check out those lunch specials. They start at $6.99. Check out their app. It's really cool to help you get through your ordering or paying and all that stuff at Outback. And the center cut sirloin is fantastic as well. And we've still got Johnny Sauter, another champion to come up from the Camping World Truck Series coming up on the program. And we'll look ahead to next week's race Oh, wait, we won't.
If the chase ended now.
It has ended now. Woo! You finally get to say it, and it's true.
The chase ended now.
Yeah, it has ended. That's fantastic. But right now, it's time for the segment we have every week in the program, On Track, Off Track, where we talk about some things going well in the sport and some things maybe not going quite so well. Over the weekend, over the season, what do you want to talk about for On Track? What's positive in Joey's world right now?
You know, rumblings, we always talk about moving the All-Star race or messing up the playoff races, and there's some rumblings about changing the last race in Ford Championship weekend, moving it from Homestead to other venues. If anybody paid any attention to Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays race and the ability for Homestead Motor Speedway to put on a fantastic event, I think that should squelch all the rumors or all the talk about moving Homestead weekend. We had fantastic weather, and the ability of Florida to produce good weather in November relative to the other obvious states is an added advantage.
Right, you don't want to go somewhere where it's freezing cold for your championship.
Yeah, or the ability for you not know what kind of weather we have. We know we can plan on the weather we have at Florida. The fact of the matter is the racing at Homestead is second to none, and I'm not trying to bash any other racetrack, whether it's a short track, restrictor plate, road course, whatever it is.
Is it the variable banking?
It's the variable banking and the fact that the track has been worn. They were the predecessors, or the innovators, I should say, of the variable banking. They were the first ones because the racetrack had been reconfigured 3 times.
Now explain what that means.
Variable banking, we have a bottom lane at a shallower bank, and as we go up the track, it increases.
Gets steeper as you go.
And the reason we do that is the shortest way around is the bottom, which you would like to take. The higher lane around is longer. To make those equal, we have variable banking, and they have excelled in the design of Homestead Motor Speedway. It's a fantastic race, whether you're talking about trucks, Xfinity, or the Sprint Cup Series, or i.e. Monster Cup possibly for the new sponsor. So it's a great facility. Let's keep it there. We saw this weekend was a fantastic weekend for Johnny Sauter, Daniel Suarez, and Jimmie Johnson.
Yeah, it certainly was, and I agree. It was fantastic, great weather, good temperatures all weekend long. Now, we reserve the right to change our opinion next time when we go back, but for right now, I think it works very well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how you beat it. It's I say the racing is second to none. You can race at the very bottom. You can race against the wall. You have old tires that wear out. We're losing over a second and a half, so Goodyear's done a fantastic job. The teams have done a good job, and next year we go down with the L2 package with the less downforce, so the racing will be even better. So kudos to Homestead Motor Speedway. Congratulations to our 3 champions.
All right. Mine is along a similar vein, and it is the situation that we had from earlier in the chase where people were going, where's all the drama? What's wrong with the chase? Why aren't guys getting out wanting to punch each other anymore? Well, you certainly saw it all weekend long, not just in the Sprint Cup Series, also in the Camping World Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, where guys elevated their game because they were forced to based on the competition that they were running against for a championship at the end and put on the best displays possible. We talked a little bit ago about Cole Witt being up front in the Xfinity race at the end and kind of gumming up the works there, so to speak. But William Byron comes back after blowing up at Phoenix the week before, wins the race, doesn't win the championship because he got knocked out a week before, and Johnny Sauter wins. We'll have him on the show in a moment. Daniel Suarez comes through in a situation where you practically had all the top 4 guys within the top 5 cars at the end of that race. You had in the Sprint Cup Series, Carl Edwards looking like he's going for a win. He and Joey Logano get tangled up, and suddenly the fortunes flip completely for Jimmie Johnson, who seemingly was unable to get above that 5th spot until fate intervened, and there was some action there that things switched around. But I don't think you necessarily need, Joey, guys to get out and looking to fight to have drama in the chase.
No, we get so used to turning on the TV and looking at a drama series TVs that are created for TV, that are instant from the time the show starts to the time that the show ends, as nothing but controversy and drama. Racing is more like a dimmer switch. It starts out, the lights come on dim, and they get brighter and brighter and brighter as this playoff and as this season goes into its final destination, which is Homestead. You can't start the season out at full bright and expect it to build, because
where do you go from there?
Right, where do we go from there? Exactly right. So the first race of the chase Was it boring? No, it was the light, the firelight, the pilot light that was just being lit to create that firestorm of a event there at Homestead. And you have to allow it to burn and get bigger and stronger and feed the fire as we go. The drama isn't created. It happened naturally. This weekend we saw the culmination of all 3 series in the drama that we started 7, 8, 9 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it was really cool that it was on the track rather than in the garage or on pit road after the race. And then if folks think that's what drama is, fine, I get it. You want to see guys intense. You want to see guys passionate about their sport and wanting to win. But, man, on track, I think it's hard to argue with the drama and the intensity ratcheting up that we saw this year.
Yeah, I mean, we want to have villains. We want to have white hats and black hat guys wearing, good guys and bad guys, whatever. White spy, black spy for you older people like myself. You
the old Mad Magazine.
Exactly
right.
Yeah. Black spy and white spy. But we don't necessarily have to have crew guys in each other's face to have that kind of intensity and drama. These guys are racers. They've been doing it for a number of years. They simply put on their helmets, and they'll give you the intensity that you're looking for without the drama of the fighting. And then you have natural created drama that we saw at Homestead. It was just natural. It wasn't forced. We didn't have to have people mad at each other. We saw Carl Edwards showing an amazing amount of restraint after being wrecked or wrecking himself, depending on what side of the fence you're on, walking all the way down pit road, getting on the pit box, and everybody was waiting for fisticuffs to start. He reached out and shook his hand to Todd Gordon,
Joey's
crew chief, to say,
yeah.
Great race, my bad. We'll see you next year.
Yeah, that's really a fantastic way for things to end. All right, those are some pats on the back. Now for some pokes in the eye. What's not going so well? What's off track in Joey's world?
Earlier this year, NASCAR actually had the teams test different exhaust systems, and we actually ran a muffler-style system with the intent on quieting the race cars. This sounds like a really good idea, simple idea to quiet the race. It's good for the environment. But realistically, race cars are loud. It's like going to an airport and going, those airplanes are too loud. We go to a racetrack this weekend, as we do all weekend, and instead of the race cars being loud, 3 hours before the event, we have the DJ playing in the garage. We have the PA system at 165 decibels where you can't hear yourself think. We have garage tours walking around that they have to wear headsets because we can't hear each other as we're trying to give garage tours. So realistically, what are we trying to accomplish when we're putting mufflers on race cars, but we have these speakers jamming at like a live concert? There seems to be a really conflict of our direction here, and I'd like to sit down and be able to maybe push it in a better direction. Race cars are loud before the race. Let's make it a little more reasonable for the people that are walking around and want to converse, and they can do that. When the race starts, everyone knows race cars are loud. It's like going to a space shuttle launch and going, boy, that thing's really loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I agree with the concept. I get what the concept is. They're trying to make it so people can yuck it up with their buddies, for lack of a better phrase, at a racetrack and not have to shout the whole time. But then on the other hand, as you say, they're pumping noise at you the whole time that's not related to the cars. So I think the concept is worthy and noble, but maybe the execution leaves a little something to be desired.
Race cars will always be loud. Even when we went to Irwindale, California, they had a decibel level. I want to say it was in the 80s. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The cars were still loud. We did reduce the noise, but realistically, we reduced them to a level that made somebody happy. But sitting in the stands, you're like, I can't tell the difference. It was if it was 85 or 95 or whatever the case may be out in Irwindale. When we ran some K&N cars, we had to stick mufflers on these race cars. And years ago, we used to stick mufflers in Flemington, New Jersey for the truck series. We actually had muffler-style glass packs.
Were you at the test that they did with this?
Not in Martinsville. No, I was not.
I was just
I know we ran dual exhaust out the back with a glass pack style muffler to try to reduce, and it was quieter. But simply put, if we think about it, the Air Titans have mufflers on them. That's the most annoying noise, and there's
sounds
only
like bees.
And there's only 20 of them on the track, and when they go by you, you're not conversing.
Yeah, it's a big buzzing noise.
Correct. They sound like a bunch of yard blowers. But my point is, for 20 of those to be on the track with non-modified V8 Chevrolet engines, that's annoying. You're not talking when the Air Titans are going by you. So realistically, what are we trying to do here? Give us the chance before the race. I know you want to entertain us, but we're going to walk around, we're going to converse and do our business before the race. When the race starts, it gets loud for the 3 or 4 hour event.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a noble cause, but maybe the execution leaves a little something to be desired. All right, for me, off track is interference. We're not talking about pass interference like you see in the NFL, which is a judgment call. We're talking about the situation we described earlier in the Xfinity series where the 14-car, Colwitt and his team find themselves because they didn't pit, they didn't have any more tires or a need for fuel, find themselves up front in the outer lane at the end of the Xfinity race that otherwise would have had the 4 championship contenders lined up for that final restart 1 through 4. Older tires, Colwitt spins the tires, winds up clogging up the outer lane, and then you have guys like Eric Jones and Justin Allgaier who didn't really get a chance to show. I don't know if they would have won or not. The point of it is we didn't get a chance to see if they could. They didn't get a chance to take a final swing at it, which is what all that drama we mentioned a moment ago is building toward. You want to see the best. You want to see the guys in contention for a championship duke it out with each other at the end, and we didn't get that opportunity because of something essentially artificial.
We should have had the first 2 rows with all 4 cars on different tires. The guys up front on Elliott Sadler had 2 right side tires leading the race, should have been leading the race. The 3 cars behind him on 4 tires and the faster cars lined up beside Elliott Sadler. Elliott was going to take the preferred line, which would have been the outside line on the restart.
Had been all night.
Had been all night long. And instead the 14 car chose to do what he did. I don't want to.
Is this the crew chief? Is it the driver?
Yes.
What is it? What
yes.
is it?
Yes.
Who could have made a different decision
At the end of the day, the driver's holding the steering wheel, and he makes the final decision. Now, from a business side of things, the driver's decision is based on his particular future with this race team. If he goes against the crew chief's demands or requests, then his future with this race team may not be as long as he wants it to be. I get it. But the driver still's holding the steering wheel and makes those decisions on what to do. The driver in question has to be aware of his surroundings. And surely, I know who was spotting for him, knew what was going on because that information was being relayed to the driver. He chose to not do what was appropriate in everybody else's eyes. He chose to do what was good in his eyes. We've talked about the sport being selfish. That was the greatest display that I can give you.
All right, there it was. On track, off track for the final time this season. We'll take another break on Motorsports Monday. When we come back, we'll be joined by the champion in the Camping World Truck Series, Johnny Sauter.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Live sports are the one true reality entertainment, where a single dramatic moment can become timeless. In NASCAR, Motor Racing Network's live broadcasts elevate your senses to the sights, sounds, and struggles taking place on the racetrack.
Keselowski to the bottom of the racetrack. He tries to slide up. Newman is there. Sideways is Keselowski.
The power of radio to the imagination of the listener. Tune in to the Motor Racing Network. Visit MRN.com for an affiliate list in your local area.
Looking to find the best place for all the latest NASCAR Sprint Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, K&N, and Modified Series news? MRN.com is the place to go. Your online home for NASCAR news, opinion, podcasts, videos, race schedules, results, and statistics. Award-winning motorsports writers keep you informed and up-to-date on all the latest breaking NASCAR news and in-depth stories and opinion. MRN.com, your online home for all the NASCAR information you're looking for.
Hi, this is Martin Truex Jr. You're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday with Joey Meyer, number 2, and Woody Kane. He would always call me number 1, so I call him number 2. You want to do a real one now?
White flag is in the air. Final lap at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Byron the leader, Sauter the championship leader.
Here comes William Byron. He right now is leading the pack. Johnny Sauter leading the championship standings. For the final time off turn number 2, it's William Byron in command.
He is in charge coming down the backstretch right now. William Byron throws that truck into turn number 3, right up against the wall. But Johnny Sauter leading for the championship battle right now, getting no challenges as he comes off of turn 4 for the final time. time. For the record 7th time in his rookie season, William Byron will go to victory lane. And for the first time in his career, Johnny Sauter is the champion of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
Boy, how about the way that one ended? William Byron finishes up front for the 7th victory, and Johnny Sauter gets the championship. They got hot at the right time and stormed through the playoffs, the first time they'd had a chase in the Camping World Truck Series, and he joins us on the guest line now. Johnny, man, congratulations. Have you come down from that emotional high yet?
Yeah. You know, I have to get pretty serious here in a little bit because I've got to give a speech tonight. So, and that's not my main deal. So, but yeah, what a great night. After qualifying as poorly as we did, and just doing what we did all night long with our Allegiant Travel Chevy, and having great pit stops and picking them off methodically throughout the course of the race, and ultimately passing the guys we needed to get the championship. That was a heck of a night, no doubt about it.
A couple of weeks ago, we've had you on twice in a row after some very good finishes at Fort Worth and Martinsville. You can't be surprised of your qualifying effort, but you knew the truck was going to race good. I don't even want to talk about the race because I know you're on a high. When did you know you won the championship?
Well, I knew that the battle I was having with the 88 there with 30-some laps to go was a pretty crucial one, and he was doing all he needed to do to try to keep me behind him. But I think the real game changer was at the time I thought the caution was a bad thing because I knew that it was just a matter of time before I got by him, because it looked like his handling was going away. But, that caution came out with 20-25 to go. And we both were able to come down pit road to get 4 fresh tires. Joe really made some great adjustments for me to get some speed to fire off a little bit quicker. And really was, once I knew I got by him, I was in pretty good shape. And, the truck was probably better than even what I was driving it there at the end. But I just was, playing it safe, trying to, get the best finish we could and ultimately try to get the championship. So pretty crazy deal. That chase format is pretty nerve-wracking. Pretty exciting, but even if you look at last year's point system, I think we'd still be the champion. So either way, it was a heck of a battle, and proud to be the champion.
Johnny, you earlier in the season started off with a big win, and you said at that time, I don't know that that's going to be enough because we can have more than 8 winners in this series. And then at the end, you guys got progressively better, and then in the chase, you started piling up wins. You were reunited with your longtime crew chief, Joe Shear Jr. When did things kind of start really clicking for you guys to where you felt, you know what, we really have a legitimate shot at this thing?
Well, all summer long we were consistent. I wouldn't say that we were performing at the level that we wanted to by any stretch because we weren't winning races. But, I feel like the eye-opener for us was we rolled into Loudon, New Hampshire for the first round of the chase, and that's typically a really good racetrack for us, and we struggled all day long. Felt like we had a great truck in practice, and, we struggled in that race. And for us to run 10th at Loudon, to me was like a big eye-opener saying, man, we got to fix this, or we got to change, what we're doing. So I think the other pivotal moment in the chase for us was Las Vegas. That's where we really honed in on our 1.5 mile package, just working on setups and things like that. And we ran pretty strong in that race. We had some trouble, and we finished 7th. But I said, man, this is the direction we need to head. This is feeling the way that the stuff needs to feel for me to drive it like I want to. So. We stuck with that at Texas, and obviously we know the outcome of that race. And but I'll tell you, the stuff that we had worked on and kind of went down the road, everybody at GMS Racing, to finish out the final 4 chase races with 2 wins and a second and a third, that's I don't know how much better than that you could do, but definitely excited about where we're at and where we ended and what that means for our future.
Johnny, it's been well documented, close to 15 years in the Camping World Truck Series. The victories have, come throughout the years with Joe Shear. It's interesting, the aspect of your relationship with Joe Shear, but it's a number of drivers that Joe's worked with. You have to be really happy as long as you've been in the sport to win a champion, but really for Joe Shear and your relationship to give him a championship.
Yeah, and our relationships go back a long ways. Our dads racing against each other up in the Midwest. So I've known Joe for a very long time, and even when we weren't working together. So, I'm just as happy for myself as I am for Joe and his family. Obviously, his dad isn't with us anymore either, and he was a heck of a guy and a great racer. So, you know, Joe and I think a lot alike when it comes to racing and just how we approach weekends and just across the board really with setups and just all that kind of stuff. So, you know, GMS has been a great environment. Obviously Mike Beam and everybody there has built us great race trucks. So, you know, Joe gets a little bit more of an opportunity to focus on setups and just things like that, you know, he really loves. So it's been kind of a great deal. But yeah, I know he's on cloud nine as well as he should be. But I don't think this has quenched his appetite quite yet. So, you know, there's more on the table that we need to go do.
Johnny, there was a lot of raw emotion, understandably, in Victory Lane when you win the championship. Your family comes in, and you're mentioning your dad and wishing he would have been there and be a part of it and all that. I even saw a tweet later where you guys did a pose sort of like from the old school days. Just at the end of this thing, what kind of stuff was running through your mind and thinking of, man, this is the culmination of a dream?
Yeah, I mean, it's and I've said this a couple times, especially in the last couple of weeks, but I feel like this championship obviously means something to me, but I feel like it means a lot to the family. You know, just a lot of racing over the last 40 years. So whether it's a NASCAR race or a short track race or whatever, there's just, you know, been a Sauter racing somewhere, it seems like, across the board. So, you know, just a lot of things roll through your mind, though. I can't just sit here and tell you it. To be completely honest with you, we'd have to have another 20 minutes to talk about this. But, you know, there's just so many things that roll through your mind and, you know, what this person's thinking or that person's thinking and who to thank and all the people along the way that, you know, have been part of your career. And there's been a lot of great people. So, you know, that's what makes this so special. You know, for me personally, it probably won't hit me till the middle of January sometime when I'm sitting in my shop and it's 30 below zero. But, you know, this is cool. I'm obviously very proud, but I'm just, you know, proud of GMS as an organization, only in their second year full time in the Truck Series, to pull this kind of a deal off, and you know, looking towards the future with a lot of the things that I see on the horizon for GMS. I'm just, you know, proud to be a part of that. It's been a pretty cool ride so far.
Well, those of us in the sport don't call it an off season; we call it a non-racing season. But we know most of you guys are going to go racing. Where's your late model going to go race next?
Well, that's a good question. You know, there's probably a pretty good chance you might see me at Speedfest down in Georgia there at the end of the month of January. So, provided my trailer doesn't get plowed in. So, we got to see what kind of winter we have up in Wisconsin first. But, yeah, that thing's sitting there pretty good shape. Got a few things that I need to work on and tweak on it, but yeah, I like that kind of racing. I love that kind of racing, actually. So anytime I get an opportunity to go do that, we're going to go do it.
Well, go get dressed, get your hair all done, make a really good speech. You're going to look good in that tuxedo, man. You're a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. My brother keeps texting me that every day. So that's pretty good stuff. But we'll try to go up there tonight and not stutter too much. That'd be good.
That's good, man.
Congratulations, Johnny. Fine season.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
There you go.
Got it, man.
How about that? What a great story. And just I was mentioning there to him just the emotion in Victory Lane of the family and all they had been through in racing for 40-some years, barnstorming across the Midwest, and then finally getting a NASCAR national championship there. That's just one of the greatest stories you'll hear.
Again, the family history goes back. Not only does Johnny's family history, but then his crew chief's family. So their dads raced together. They've raced together. You know, we have a list of drivers: Tony Roper, Kevin Sawinski, Dakota Armstrong, Cole Custer, Alex Bowman. Drivers like Robbie Reiser, before he was a crew chief, was a driver with Joe Shear as his crew chief. Tim Sauter, his brother. We got just drivers that the history is amazing. So to finally be able to cap this off as a Camping World Truck Series champion, that trophy goes on the mantle, but the accomplishment stays on you like a tattoo for the rest of your life.
Absolutely, it does. Let's hear from some of the other top finishers in the Camping World Truck Series, the Championship 4. Christopher Bell was a guy almost nobody, including him, expected to be there at the end.
When we started off the race, we were pretty far off. I was struggling pretty bad, but everyone on this number 4 Cowbush Motorsports group did an awesome job, and I can't thank the pit crew enough, man. They're the ones who gave us a shot there at the end. Really thankful for all of our partners at JBL, Toyota Racing Development, everyone at Cowbush Motorsports, all the guys that don't come to the racetrack, all the guys that do come to the racetrack.
all of our partners with SiriusXM and DC Solar. We appreciate them being on the truck a couple times this year.
Two of the elder statesmen in the championship hunt was Timothy Peters and Matt Crafton. This is what Timothy had to say post-race.
Just keeping track position. Everybody did a great job. It is what it is. These guys do a great job for me every week. So all we wanted was a shot coming down here, and that's what we had. We were so good when we initially fired off the start of the race, but it never would come back. So I don't know. I'll be scratching my head a little bit, but all in all, it's still a great year for the Red Horse Racing team. Just so proud to be in this moment. It's really surreal, and we wanted to get that championship, but fourth isn't too shabby.
Timothy Peters finishes 6 points out of the championship, 5 points back for Christopher Bell, the rookie. Matt Crafton, a two-time champ, he finishes second to Johnny Sauter in the championship standings. And to take us to break, here's what he had to say.
Just got too tight on that last run. The run before that, we got a little bit free in and just made real small adjustments right there, and just got really, really tight when it landed, get down in the corner, wouldn't turn, get into the center of the corner, but we fought hard and just came up a little bit short.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
Dale Jr. here. I wear Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans for any occasion. With new styles and great fits, you'll look good and feel comfortable no matter where you are.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans are designed to keep up with you no matter where you go or what you're doing. They're made with 20% stronger denim and 4-way flex technology that moves with you, so you can go anywhere, look great, and be comfortable all day long.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans, the most comfortable jeans you will ever wear. Try on a pair today.
Wrangler, be comfortable.
It's time to start pouring concrete, and the Housby Mixer System is ready for the job. The Housby Mixer System was created specifically with the driver in mind. All controls and specs are completely customizable to your operations. Our durable, driver-friendly mixer can be mounted on all truck types, and our expert support is second to none. On-site and live phone support is just a phone call away. For more information, visit Housby.com. Housby, an official sponsor of NASCAR for over 40 years.
Before you set your fantasy racing lineup, check in with our experts to get the inside line on who's fast and who's last entering the race weekend. Robbie Mays and Tyler Burnett take you inside the facts, stats, and latest news from the track, so you have everything you need to set your team and win the weekend. Log on to MRN.com and enter the Media Center every Friday. It's the inside line on demand and only on the Motor Racing Network.
I'm Ty Dillon, and you're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday with Joey Meyer and Woody Kane.
So Joey was so good on the short run that I knew I could not give it to him. I couldn't give him that lane. I went down there and blocked. He went down as far as a guy could be expected to go down. And I thought we were going to possibly hit. I just thought I'd have a little more time to correct it, but we were so far down there he couldn't go any farther down basically, and we ended up wrecked. So that's the way things go sometimes. It's this race, I was so proud of my guys. I was so happy with our performance. That run to catch Kyle and pass him, that was everything I have. That was the drive of my life, and it didn't yield a championship, but I have a lot of pride in how we performed. Man, just a fun race. I wish it didn't end like that. My guys deserve better than that. Hindsight, obviously, it would have been better to be a little less aggressive and maybe race him, but man, I thought if he got in front of me, it was over.
Carl Edwards taking the blame on his shoulders for the incident that knocked him out of the championship hunt.
2 excruciating championship battles with Carl Edwards back in 2011 with Tony Stewart coming up, tied for the same number of points. Tony Stewart takes the championship with a number of wins. And then Sunday's event, clearly the class of the field on a restart. Joey gets into him because he's trying to get by and Carl's blocking him. Excruciating finishes for Carl Edwards. But it will be a perennial contender at Joe Gibbs Racing for years to come.
All right, speaking of Joe Gibbs Racing, let's hear from his teammate Kyle Busch.
Yeah, it was a really rough night for us at the beginning, and didn't seem like it was going our way, and then all of a sudden it looked like we had it in the bag and it was ours to win or ours to lose, and we just didn't quite get a great restart there on 2 restarts to go, and Logano shot through the middle, got me really tight and loose down into turn 1, but we just kept trying to fight through there and fight through that and what happened, and with coming back down there at the end and taking 4 tires, it just got us way too far behind in traffic, and we just couldn't make up from that deficit. So this M&M's team, though, they did a great job all year long, and here this weekend we fought hard a little bit with an ill-handling car, but we made the most of it, and just not enough.
The restart king, the entire 2016 representing Team Penske, the Pennzoil Ford, Joey Logano was close. Here's what his thoughts were.
I hate being that close to a championship and not getting it, but team did a great job all day. We had a good race car, and we put ourselves in position to win. That last restart, I was hoping to get Jimmie there and try to get either the inside or the outside of him, and I just timed it a little bit wrong to get underneath him. I hit him right at the start-finish line. I didn't have enough time to get underneath him, so lost some time there, and unfortunately that's where we're going to finish as second. So the championships mean so much, and everyone forgets about second place. That's the part that stinks a little bit right now, but overall I'm proud of this team, and it's motivation for next year because this hurts.
All right, heard from all the Championship 4 and all 3 of NASCAR's national divisions. A couple of Twitter questions to wrap up before we put a bow on the season. Zach Copeland wants to know, is Brad K healthy after that big hit at the end of the race?
Yeah, all the safety equipment Team Penske gives him, he provided to get out of that car injury-free. A little sore, banged up, but other than that, okay.
And Mr. Wynell Bandit wants to know, going into 2017, what will be the biggest change we see starting at Daytona? No smoke, new sponsor, new rules, or what?
No, I think the new rule package will be the story of the year along with our new sponsor. That's a relationship you're looking to build for years to come. We're going to do that, but our new package will allow the performance the teams to reevaluate where they need to be.
Brian France said on Sunday at Homestead, we're close to signing a sponsor. It's not quite done yet. There are some I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed to make that happen. But this new rules package, 2017, the even lower, the L2 package, this year we saw it had a bigger impact at the beginning of the season, and by the end, the rocket scientists with the teams had figured out how to get some of that downforce back. Do you think we'll be a similar path next year?
Yes, obviously the teams are always going to work and get a little bit more than the next team. That's what our jobs are. If not, we run last.
And there you go. So that's a great capper on the season. I want to thank Outback Steakhouse and Hercules Tire for we're going to head over to Outback, as a matter of fact, as soon as we finish here, and have a bloomin' onion, among other things. And Hercules Tire as well for being a part of our digital program here at the Motor Racing Network. Want to thank our producer, Daryl Smith, our guy who makes us all look good, Robbie Mays, behind the scenes. Joey, it's been a great season.
Appreciate
I'm looking
it.
forward to coming back in 2017.
We end this show here in Concord, North Carolina. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. We won't be back until after the New Year. We'll have Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll come back 92 days to the green flag of the Daytona 500. 92 days. Woo!
I wish you hadn't said that. Listen, thanks everybody for watching all season long. Tell your friends about the program. All of them are archived at MRN and on YouTube. We'll see you next year.
You've been listening to MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Tune in again next Monday at noon Eastern for all the latest news, results, and interviews from NASCAR on MotorRacingNetwork.com. Brought to you by Hercules Tires. MRN Motorsports Monday is also available on demand at the MotorRacingNetwork.com Media Center. Or you can download it from iTunes or Stitcher. MRN Motorsports Monday is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.